Hey, good morning, and welcome to this week's edition of Tell It Like It Is with Carl Jackson. So today we're doing um, we're there's so much that transpired this week. We're talking about a lot things like several things that I'd like to touch on. AOC, the new Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett. We got Ron DeSantis that announced this week that he's waging a war on big tech. I absolutely love that. The big mistake by Republicans, I think the way that the Republican Party is treating Marjorie Taylor Greene is absolutely stupid and a big mistake. I'll explain why that is. Biden says there's no need for Trump to get intelligence briefings. And I'll tell you what that's about. Covering up is what that's really about. And Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of Defense, gave a scathing comment about Biden's decision to do that and Biden's decision to want to go back to the way that things were. And he just reminds of us of what an utter disaster the Obama-Biden administration were when it came to foreign policy. So we'll recap some of that. And of course, this is Super Bowl weekend. I got the guys in
Go
studio.
Bucks.
You didn't hear that. I got the guys. Tony Maestro in studio that happens to be a big Bucks fan. I mean, even all the years that they sucked, he completely.
I was still on the wagon.
Yeah, I gotta
there,
give him.
you know.
I gotta give him credit. I gotta
you
give
know,
him credit. He was a Bucks.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
He was a Buck.
I grew up a Bucks fan. When we first moved to Florida when I was a kid, we moved to the Clearwater, Tampa Bay area.
I didn't know that.
And back when they were
Are you serious?
the creamsicle orange.
Yeah.
I've loved them then. And
The old Buccaneer,
and it just so happens, and my brother that passed away a few years ago, he was a big Bucks fan, and tomorrow would be his birthday
Oh
too.
man.
So
all right, just for
so
that.
if you guys root against the Bucks, you're rooting against my brother and his birthday. No, I'm just kidding. So, but no, he was such a Bucks fan. And he got to see him win in 2002, but he passed away in 2015. But so his son will be at my house. I think, watching it with us. So, and I just told him the other day, you realize that the Bucks are playing on your dad's birthday. And he was like, oh my God, I didn't know that, So yeah, so we're excited, win or lose, we're excited. I think, for us older guys, seeing someone like Brady at the top of his game, that's, just a little bit younger than me.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good too, to see that. So, and I saw an article that basically said, if you took Brady from 2000 to 2010 and that was all he did, and then you take him from 2011 on, he's the first and second best quarterback. Wow. In the, he's Hall of Famer for those 10 years, and then the second 10 years either way. So he's the best top two quarterbacks. If you just split his career in half, of he's done more than any other quarterback in just, in those two 10-year. So, and
it's a credit to his leadership, because honestly, and let me just offer this caveat. And I know you want to say something too here, J-Dog, and I want to hear it. So I've been protesting football for literally since Colin Kaepernick has kneeled. I think because Biden is in the White House, I need an escape for a short period of time. But the last 3 weeks, I have watched NFL football. Just for the record, NFL, you guys go back to social justice warriorness next year. I'm canceling you. So this will be a reprieve. But having said that, I got to give Brady this. I've never liked him as a quarterback. I think there's quarterbacks that have been better than him. I think Joe Montana, going back in the day. I think Aaron Rodgers. However, given the numbers and the leadership, there's no comparison. I mean, I have to give him credit. As much as I want to hate the guy, I have to give him credit, because there's no doubt in my mind that the Bucks would not be in the Super Bowl if he wasn't there. So so in that sense, you got to respect, whatever he's doing, inflating balls or whatever it may be. He's gotten there. So, which I really don't care about, quite honestly. I figure whatever you have to do to gain the advantage in the game, so be it. What were you going to say, J-Dog?
I agree with you. The Bucks without Tom Brady would not be in the Super Bowl. But being a lifelong Colts and Peyton Manning fan,
Oh, yeah. I love Peyton Manning too. Yeah.
I didn't like Tom Brady for the first 18, 19 years of
Yeah,
his career, but
yeah.
I love now that he's in Tampa. I got to admit, as a Peyton Manning fan, Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Wow.
There is no debate about that.
Wow. And I'll say this too. I was actually a big Peyton Manning fan as well. And I always thought he was better than Brady, except obviously he didn't perform as well when he would get into the playoffs, but just an outstanding guy.
I mean, just the longevity though. And not that, but one thing that, and I know this is not a sports show, but
yeah,
now we're getting on
I
this.
know.
But
I didn't expect to talk about this long, quite honestly.
So I will say one thing, like him and Gronk, one thing that really just stood out was not just their leadership on the field, but the fact that, I read an article about what Gronkowski has done in the locker room.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And you don't think about that. No, but just that leadership, that sense of like, just building others up.
Yeah. Coming in and being a mentor to the
know,
younger guys that are probably more physically capable than you at that point, but don't have the mental toughness it takes to go to the next level.
I think that's kind of what we have to do. Like, even if you think about politics though, that's what, as we need to really, reach out to the younger, generations out there. What are we leaving for our country? What do we want to see? Like that song that you sent us, the fake woke,
Tom
it's like
McDonald.
Really,
if you guys haven't seen that, please see it. He has some old stuff that I wouldn't recommend necessarily.
You know what? I'll post it on our page too later.
It's a good idea
on the page. But I had to hear it. I literally had to, like back to back. I had to listen to it twice, and to get it. But it just makes so much sense. It's just like we think that we're, or the whole woke, society or whatever thinks that they're doing the world a greater good by, we're so, enlightened now. We whatever you feel, whatever this is, but how, and I know he got it from Ben Shapiro, but facts don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
That's they don't, and like, if you want to say that a man is a woman, or a man wants to say he's a woman and go and get into a sports like that, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And how, even I don't know if you heard about John McEnroe when he said that he said like Serena Williams is the best women's tennis player ever.
Right.
And then they were like, well, why can't she be the best tennis player? Why does it have to be the best woman? She goes, you put her against the men's and she's not in the top 200.
Yeah.
She's not going to make the top 200.
Right.
And here we are. We're going to discredit her on how amazing she is, but you're not competing against a man.
Yeah.
You're competing against your own gender, and your physical makeup is different than a man's. How can we start now just saying, it's okay for men to go and compete? They would never make it in the male, competing against other men, but now, they could be a track star and they could be the slowest man on the track team, but go and be the fastest woman.
This is sexism, misogyny, and abuse at its finest. So sexism and misogyny, all of these left-wing Democrats that for years claimed they were part of this big feminist movement. I don't even know how we got onto this, but we're here. Yeah. So that
we started with just the Bucks. Go Bucks.
Yeah, we were talking about the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden Tony took us here.
I know.
Right. But regardless, listen, today's show is kind of a topic salad, if you will, a topic buffet. So it's fine. but I do agree. I mean, I think what the left has done with the feminist movement, they've absolutely destroyed it. They've destroyed science. And I think we were talking about fake woke, this song. So we'll put it up on Facebook. I need to put it up on my website too, carljacksonshow.com. Please go there and donate if you can, help us grow. But it's just a bunch of common sense coming to you in rap form and in lyrics. And I know it's a white guy that's delivering this, but it's like you listen to it and it's like, oh yeah, common sense just smacking you on every side of the face. So it's pretty cool. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure check. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, go to our Facebook page, Carl Jackson Radio. Later I'll put it up on the website as well, carljacksonshow.com, and just listen to it. And actually there's another song that he did, I forget the name of it, but it's equally as good, I would say even better. And it just deals with political correctness and how it's just distorting everything. And just quickly, I would say it's abuse, because people that suffer from gender dysphoria, that's what transgenderism is, their suicide rates are exponentially high. So all of you people that think you're compassionate by supporting people that are obviously mentally disturbed, if you think that you have another anatomy, and if your mind is telling you you are something different physically than you actually are, that is a mental illness. And anyone that tries to argue otherwise, they are, I don't want to call them names, but they're woefully ill-informed. They want to feel good about themselves. They want to feel moral. It's just not a good thing. So fake woke, that's one thing. But let me just mention this real quick. So were you going to say something, J-Doc?
No, I was going to say something though, just like, thank everyone for tuning in. We're now running live on Facebook and YouTube, thanks to Restream and Dennis who came and hooked us up and helped us with our camera and our podcast for us that are pretty not so technical here. So
a bunch of old farts.
And you guys that have commented that our camera was the wrong angle. We weren't, we weren't doing the wide shot and everything. Look, we're getting better every week. We're trying to, and so we absolutely appreciate your comments. And if there's something, if the sound wise stuff like that, just please, keep letting us know. If it's sound, then it's J-Dog's fault. So anyhow,
and we're going to be throwing up some graphics. We've learned how to throw up some graphics on the screen, so hopefully you guys will enjoy those.
The old men are learning. I want to reference back to something you talked about real quickly and bridge it to another topic. So you talked about the impact that Gronkowski is having in the locker room, as well as Tom Brady. Obviously, I mean, I listened to one gentleman from the Bucs. I can't even recall his name. But anyway, he said that they had the talent, but they didn't. His own words, and again, I don't remember his name or even his position, but he said they kind of felt hopeless, as if they couldn't get to the next level. And he said, but we knew we had the talent, so we just lacked the leadership. And he said Tom Brady brought that leadership that we needed. And doing that, he helped the young potential, and that they could step it up to the next level. So now let me bridge that. Go ahead.
No, and they weren't the greatest team this year. Like they lost 5 games.
Yeah,
they were a wild card. This is and I think only a handful of times has the wild card actually made it to the Super Bowl, and fewer times won.
Yeah,
so they've gotten better every week. They've, worked with each other. I mean, and from what I see on the sideline and stuff like that, Tom's not the easiest guy,
right?
To work with, as far as like, he's competitive. He wants to win.
There's a level of expectation,
and he doesn't want to get hit.
Yeah.
And you need to do your job and protect him, and he's going to do his job, and it doesn't always, pan out. But I think at the end of the day, they're on the same team. They're all fighting for the same thing. And I think, so I'm just so excited for what they've done. And someone like Tom, who he is the GOAT, but you see these quarterbacks that were just, like Brett Favre, you saw him at the end of his career, and he wasn't the same. And then you see this guy that you look at his stats, and if you didn't know his age, it's like, man, this guy's only been playing for a couple of years. He's got many in, and no, he's got the last few, and he's still playing. Like you look at his career, and he's gotten progressively better.
So in case you're thinking that this is Bucks Radio, since
I can't wait for tomorrow.
it's obvious that Tony is a Bucks fan, but I do want to gear back to in linking the leadership in the locker room that the Bucks are experiencing to what we can do and participate in. As people that are maybe slightly older, or been in the political game, or just want to help bring up a new generation of our team on the Republican side. Last night, I was privileged to go to an event that was actually hosted by Dr. Willie Montague, who's running for District 10 right here in Orlando. Val Demings currently holds that seat. Kim Klacik was there as well. Now, you guys may remember Kim Klacik. She blew up on social media. She's a young black girl, attractive young black girl wearing the red dress, walking down the street of Baltimore and just depicting how bad the city looks, not because of its residents per se, but all of these politicians that were getting money to beautify their city. They weren't taking it back home. That money disappeared. And so she was outlining that. And, a lot of people in Baltimore and in media and so on took offense to it because they felt as though she was demeaning them. And she wasn't. But regardless, that social media video led to her getting literally over $8 million in campaign money and an endorsement from President Trump. Now, she still lost the race. However, she got the most votes that a Republican has ever gotten in Baltimore, in that district. So it's pretty cool. So anyway, she was at the event last night. She's starting a PAC called Red Renaissance. One of the candidates that she's helping out is Dr. Willie Montague. She herself may be running again. She left the doors open to that. She is interested in running again. But anyway, that was a cool meet and greet last night. So please do everything you can to support them, Dr. Willie Montague, also Kim Klacik. Look for Red Renaissance. But tonight, there is a reception for those of you that are in Orlando. And I'm asking you, if you can go, to please go and donate and help these people out. But at the Lab Orlando, the address is 1016 West Church Street. And that's in Orlando. The zip code is 32805. The time of the event is 6:30 p.m. You can go to teamwillie.com, teamwillie.com, and make sure you go and help these people out. These are people, young people, that love the Constitution, and it's an added bonus that these are Black conservatives that are tired of being called. They're not sellouts or Uncle Toms, that just love the Constitution, love what this nation has provided, and they want to fight for it. And what they're doing, and what Kim Klacik is doing specifically, is with her PAC, she's going to help fund young guns that are coming up, get their social media tight so that they can get the money they need to compete in primaries. Because there is a real battle. Not just between the left and Republicans, but there's a real battle between the left, Republicans that are more establishment types, and Republicans that are more constitutionalist or Tea Party bent. There's a struggle for dollars. It's a big war inside of the Republican Party. But what we need to be together, all in together, like the Democrat Party is. But we need to be the party of freedom. And if we can bring up candidates that are going to fight for the Constitution when others in our party are not, then we need to do that. So teamwillie.com. If you guys can go tonight, please go. You'll meet both Dr. Willie Montague, who's doing fabulous work in the downtown Orlando and Paramore area. This is a guy that knows the district, that has his feet on the ground. And if Val Demings doesn't run for the Senate or the governorship, I think he can give her a run for his money. And if she does decide to run, we could take this seat. So Dr. Willie Montague and again, Kim Klacik that will be there tonight. You can meet both of them. So please, teamwillie.com, check that out. Okay, let's get to the topics at hand. Let me go ahead and just drink down some water. Real quick, I want to give props to Ron DeSantis earlier in the week. If you watch if you listen to my radio show on Salem Radio every Wednesday from 7 to 9, the repeats play from 6 to 8 a.m. TheAnswerOrlando.com if you want to listen to the repeats, or even just go on my Facebook page and we record them. We record them there. But I'm so impressed with Ron DeSantis. I know the media wants to talk about, oh, he's done an abysmal job with vaccine rollout and so on. And the truth is, Florida is amongst the top 10 in the nation with distribution of the vaccine, and amongst the larger states, he's like in the top tier, top 1, 2, 3, of distribution. But beyond that, this guy is a fighter. So this week he announced that he's taking on big tech. So big tech that just deplatforms candidates that they feel threatened by. What he's doing is offering or suggesting legislation. Now, obviously, someone have to write legislation that sticks. He would have to sign it. But anytime these big tech companies come in and they deplatform Republican candidates, these Republican candidates are political candidates, period. But we know they've been doing it to Republicans and not Democrats. All right. So they will get $100,000 per day fine. Individuals could sue these big tech giants that violate the new guards that they would put in place that safeguards their kind of freedom of speech. So just some of the things that he's doing. There was a third thing, but I forget exactly what it is. But regardless, this is a guy that's actually starting to put teeth to how you fight back against big tech that obviously doesn't like freedom, that want to control you like your slaves. We should call them big tech slave masters. That's what they are. That's what they are. They're big tech slave masters. These people are disgusting people. It's sad. I know they think they're woke and they're doing a good thing, but the Zuckerbergs, the Twitter guy, the Dorsey, he looks like a straight up crackhead. And I know, yes, I use these platforms, but I got to tell you, as human beings, these guys may think they're woke. They may think they're doing a good thing. They may think that their side is right in this and that. But ultimately, silencing speech is going to lead to a dumbing down the culture. And it's just going to give them more power. It's just going to give them more power and money. So these guys aren't good people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be seeking to crush someone else's political thought. If all you have is people around you that just think like you, or if that's the only information that you get, you're not going to be as bright as you can be, because you won't be able to defend your arguments. You'll live in a bubble like they do in Washington, D.C. So props to Ron DeSantis. Do you guys want to say anything about that before I move on? All right. So I wasn't going to talk about that long anyway. So, all right. Now, another thing that I want to talk about, Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett. Yeah, and that's been hashtagging on Twitter for several days now, since everyone found out that she was not, in fact, in the area of the Capitol building that was breached by the mostly peaceful protesters, right? As a matter of fact, she was in a Cannon building the Cannon building, which, if I recall, is attached to the Capitol building, but where her office sits, she was nowhere near the Capitol breach, and she was never in danger whatsoever. A woman, Representative Mace, who is actually a sexual assault survivor, a rape survivor herself, posted that day her location, where she was, and how she was safe. And this is how it came to pass. Now, she posted on Twitter that day, the day of January 6th, the day of the mostly peaceful protest, that they were safe and, secure and going to get out of the building, but they were okay. Now, her office is just 2 doors down from AOC. So this whole story that Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett that whole story that she was whimpering in her closet, scared for her life. Someone bust in. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Looking for her. She was in fear for her life. All this kind of stuff. She even used. I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know what to believe. As I said on Wednesday night, anyone that rapes or sexually assaults a woman, I believe they should be shot in their head. That's my belief. I can't stand rapists. Now, so I don't want to diminish that experience if that actually happened at AOC. However, I'm questioning it since she's willing to lie about anything for attention and to move the left's agenda forward. That's really nerve-wracking to me. It's really sad and it's sickening to me, quite frankly. So it came out again that she was never under any direct threat with the mostly peaceful protests at the Capitol on January 6th. So she's now officially Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett, because this chick will make up anything in order to feel moral, in order to feel popular, and in order, just to sustain her fame, if you will. And she's a mover and shaker in the Democrat Party. You can't deny it. But she is now officially Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett. Do you guys have any take on this matter whatsoever? J-Dog, Mr. Maestro? Mr. Maestro strolling back through. He's still so excited for the Bucks. He's in studio, but he's not paying attention. He could care less about the show today because
there's a show today.
Yeah, so he's just concerned about the Bucks. But
no, we're actually just we're trying to figure this whole thing out with our podcasting or the restream. Just so we're actually looking at some of the technical stuff in the background. I don't know what Carl said this whole time, but other than we're just kind of checking things out. I really appreciate though the just everyone out there. So we're just seeing some comments, stuff like that. And,
people appreciate the new setup.
Yeah, I think people like it. I think we're like I said, every day we're gonna get a little bit better here. So
all right,
one day we're gonna be professional at this. We're gonna
all right. That's a real thing. That's the goal. So, professionalism is the goal.
No, I mean, I haven't followed the news or anything. I did see where AOS is or AOC, how she. I didn't even listen to what what she stated or whatever. Before, but how she wasn't even in the Capitol building at all. She was like about a third of a mile down the street, a few blocks away, or whatever. It happened. Now, from what I understand, she didn't state that she was. It was just assumed.
No, she did.
She stated that she was.
No, she not only did she state that she was there, she gave a 90-minute Instagram, like she ran through detail to detail that she absolutely made up, stating that she was in direct danger. She could hear them in her hallway. They busted into the mostly peaceful protesters. Busted into her office, even shouting, "Where is she? Where is she?" So she crouched inside of the bathroom. And all this kind of. She totally lied. Totally made up a story.
Now she's saying
was there
that
and in danger.
Now she's saying that actually happened, but the people that broke into her office were Capitol Police who didn't identify herself or didn't identify themselves.
Yeah. Okay, so. But she screwed up because she's also said earlier in the week that someone on her own staff said she can come out. She can come out. And basically the girl's a big fat liar. All right. That's all she is. She's a propagandist. It's absolutely scandalous, but she's getting what she wants. I'm talking about her. Other people are talking about her. Let's just make sure that when we are talking about her from now on, she's Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett. She should not be taken seriously. She should be mocked. Now, at the same time, the left takes her seriously, so we should take any. All right, so when they're distracting us with all of these stories, let's just make sure that we pay attention to policy, because they want to do what they do. They want to distract, while meanwhile they are just screwing us and screwing up the country. So that's exactly what AOS is doing right now.
And so AOC, I'm going to call her AOC POS. For Piece of Smollett, but she is going to walk away from this little controversy, none the worse.
Yep.
But Maggie Green, that's her name, right?
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I call her Crazy Aunt Margie, and I
Yeah.
love her.
Who is cray cray? Don't get me wrong, but she gets taken off of
Yeah.
all of her appointments.
Yeah,
But yet AOC POS,
yeah,
after the stunt that she pulled,
yeah.
nothing's going to happen to her.
Yeah, and let me clarify this because I agree. I'm calling her Auntie Crazy Marjorie because she has stones of steel. I don't think she's crazy. Has she said some crazy stuff? Like I guarantee you, every single one of you have said, perhaps not in the same context, perhaps not the same topic. Every one of us has said something stupid or something that we've said in the past that we regretted. The lady is of sound mind. She's a business owner. As a matter of fact, when I was talking to Kim Klacik last night, knows her personally, she was like, I know this lady. She is not a nut. She is of sound mind. She's smart. She's articulate. She is just a straight up fighter that wants to fight for our Bill of Rights, that wants to fight for the Constitution. Did she believe some wacky stuff at times? Yeah. But if you vote for AOC, you have to believe some wacky stuff. If you vote for Rashida Tlaib, you have to believe some wacky stuff. If you vote for Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, who is a dementia patient, yes, you have to believe wacky stuff. So the mistake that the Republicans make, and this is what frustrates me. It's so asinine. It's so amateur. The Republicans fall for this stuff and they try to play the high and mighty ground. I'm sorry. This high and mighty ground nonsense does not work when you have people that totally want to change the way America is without using the rule of law. So you get these fighters in like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Crazy Auntie Margie. I say she's crazy because she's down. I mean, she's down for the struggle. She's down for the fight. You better not mess with her. So it's loving. I'm saying it in a loving way. That's my Crazy Auntie Margie. I'm glad she's in Congress. The Republicans did themselves a disservice by removing her from any committee. They gave the left exactly what they wanted. They gave us another media distraction. Hey, look at Marjorie, look at Marjorie, look at Marjorie. As now, and while all the while, as you said, J-Dog, you have this crazy nut in AOC that is totally lying and making up a story about fearing for her life when it never happened. It never happened. And so the Republicans don't have the courage to strongly go after AOS and censor Alexandria Ocasio-Smollett and censor her, but they'll do it to their own. See, Democrats aren't that dumb. They realize that AOC or AOS, I'm sorry, brings in, she has pull. She brings in more votes. She brings in more votes. So they're not going to destroy her, right? But the Republicans, oh, we'll destroy our own. Yeah, no problem. We're not going to stick together. The media says this lady is a nut. We agree. As Republicans, as all high and mighty Republicans, we agree she's a nut. And we're going to follow whatever the media says. Dummies. That's why you lose. And I understand that we gain seats, but we can't play. It's about more than gaining seats. All right. It's about winning the country back. It's about conserving the Constitution. And when you morons throw her under the bus, all you've done is a disservice. I understand that there were some Republicans. I didn't even take their names. I don't care at this point, but I will look them up. Matter of fact, I do need to look them up and post their names. But I understand that some Republicans in the House voted to remove her from the committee. Bye-bye. They should be removed from the House. If you haven't figured out now that we have a mental patient in the White House that has signed nearly 50 executive orders. This is unprecedented. This is unheard of. If you're worried about Marjorie Taylor Greene, whose district happens to love her, you guys are the idiots. So every single one of those idiots that voted to remove her from a committee, I don't care. I don't care if they are a constitutional conservative. They don't get the game. And I'm sorry to tell you, everything that happens in Washington, it isn't just about policy. It is about political theater. And if you're too dumb to get that and understand that there's two things happening in Washington, D.C., you need to leave. I don't care if you're a Ben Sass jackass. I'm so tired of him. I used to like that guy. I can't stand him. I want him gone. I don't care if he's memorized the Constitution. You are totally worthless if you don't look at how the left is destroying this country and eat your own and don't make any progress. So you hate Donald Trump so much, you're willing to put a socialist in the White House. Nah, no use for you anymore. No use for any Republican like that. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm fed up with them. So give me a crazy Auntie Margie, which I say lovingly, any day of the week and twice on Sunday. As a matter of fact, you weak behind Republicans, I look forward to donating to her. So, and I will do so. And I encourage you to do the same. I want to make sure and honestly, I've seen this too. I'm not going to name them, but even some of the places that I research on that are solid conservative outlets, websites, they'll fight for Marjorie Taylor Greene, crazy Auntie Margie a little bit. And they say, well, hopefully they can find a better candidate. No, that ain't our business. That's up to the people in that district. If they love Auntie Margie and she's fighting for their constitutional rights, shut up, conservatives. Shut up. Know when to shut your freaking mouths. This is why we can't progress. This is why once we do get in office, we gain seats, we get in office, and then the moment we lose, everything is exactly the same because the left gets in office and they set an agenda, they distract us with the political theater, and they advance policy. We, on the other hand, we capitulate to the left's political theater, and so we don't advance our policy agendas. It's just stupid. I'm just tired of it. I guess I have to go to college to get as smart as they are, but as dumb as they are. I mean, but it's just frustrating. All right. So anything else on crazy Auntie Margie? I'll move on. All right. So what else there? We got Ron DeSantis. We got crazy Auntie Margie. Okay. So Biden says, last thing that I'm going to talk about here. Biden says that there's no need for Trump to get intelligence briefings. Okay. When you hear that Biden says there's no need for Trump to get intelligence briefings, what's the first thought that comes to mind? I want to hear from both of you guys. What's the first thought that comes to mind?
I didn't realize that former presidents actually still receive intelligence briefings. So.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
They have the option to, I believe.
They do. Yeah, they do. They actually do. It sounds like it's pretty automatic. So every single one of the living presidents, yeah, I think you're right, can request to see briefings. And if it's
offered to them, I believe.
And if they do accept it, you're right, then they get the intelligence briefings. So they're all privy to know everything that's going on in the world. So now Biden doesn't want to offer this to Trump, which right away he's telling 80 million people approximately, hey, you guys don't need to know what's going on in the world. You guys don't need to have a place in the White House. This is really dumb stuff, but they feel very emboldened since big tech is behind them. And then they have fake news outlets that really don't pay, that capitulate to them, acquiesce to the left, and basically are leftists in the media. So, but this is coming from a man. This is coming from a man who, mind you, who offered a quid pro quo, give and take on camera with the Ukraine government, telling them they wouldn't get $1 billion if they didn't stop the prosecution, or if a prosecutor in the Ukraine didn't stop looking into his crack-headed son. And I did not want to be mean, because drug addiction is drug addiction is a extremely hurtful thing, and I don't want to demean people's struggle in that. But I am tired of these people being lifted up that should not being lifted up. If you're struggling with drug addiction, alcohol addiction, in any way, forgive me. I'm not coming after you. I realize that is a big struggle. But I'm tired of these people in Washington, D.C. getting away with murder. It should not. So I'm not going to take him seriously. When you know his son that's addicted to drugs is making corrupt deals and he's dealing on behalf of his corrupt son, it's just not a good thing. This is a man in Biden who also helped start up this Russia collusion hoax that entangled President Trump for a good portion of his presidency. It's just sickening. This is also a man who Bill Gates, the Secretary of Defense at one point in time under former President Obama, said Biden has been wrong on every foreign policy issue, not to mention now his mental capacity. He's totally incapable. He was asked these questions by Nora O'Donnell of CBS News. And basically, Biden said, listen, he doesn't think that Trump should get these reports because his response is, I think not, as far as getting the reports. And then he says the reason why is because of Trump's erratic behavior. Now, no mention, we don't know his mental records. We don't know they won't share them. They won't share them because everybody with a grain of common sense knows this man is going down the tubes mentally. Other reasons why they said Trump shouldn't get him, the lefties argue, the mostly peaceful protests on January 6th, which in fact was happening while Trump was speaking. And he did not, in fact, incite any type of riots or insurrections like the Black Lives Matter and Antifa insurrections. Another lady, Susan M. Gordon, that's the former National Intelligence Deputy Director, said, well, Trump is unusually vulnerable because he wants to stay engaged in political policy. You mean like Barack Obama? Is that what you're talking about? Like Obama stayed engaged in politics, jabbing at Trump throughout his presidency? Do you mean like that? They won't dare say that about Obama. Another person said Trump has significant business relationships in other parts of the world that are vulnerable to intelligence. These are a bunch of big fat liars. But yeah, he does have businesses in different parts of the world. I don't know if they're vulnerable to intelligence, bad intelligence or if they're an intelligence vulnerability. I suspect these people are lying. But you don't think Biden is vulnerable? I mean, this is a guy that's willing and dealing with China, whose son is willing and dealing with China and other foreign governments. So it's an absolute joke. Everything that they are talking about with President Trump, it's all projection, because these are things that Biden has actually done. And if you keep hearing me call him Biden, as a Christian, I'm taught to respect those in authority. So I'm not going to call him names, but I will not call him, besides a dementia patient, I will not put the title president for whatever. You can speculate as to why. I'm not going to get shut off here. But I will say this part. Based on his health, he should not be in the White House. And I have it upon good sources that there are people, the people that are actually running the White House or his aides, his staffers. This is kind of, I'm not even sure what role Kamala plays in it, but I don't think she's as big of a juggernaut as people think she is. I think this is kind of an administrative state, people all around making decisions for Biden, everyone but Biden making decisions. But it's laughable. Just think of ISIS. There's a
I don't know if Biden can decide on what he wants to eat for dinner.
There's no way. That's why he cannot go off a teleprompter for any reason whatsoever, because he will absolutely be destroyed. He'll be, they'll know. I mean, they'll know. I just want to read, if I can find this real quick. This was from PJ Media. Pompeo eviscerates Biden's claim that America is back as far as policy is concerned. So on Thursday, former Secretary of State Pompeo dismantled Biden's claim that America is back under his administration when it comes to foreign policy. Pompeo defended the Trump administration's foreign policy accomplishments and noted the Obama administration failures, insisting that America cannot afford 8 more years of Obama-style foreign policy, which is what Biden's team is carrying out. So I love the way Pompeo puts this. He says does he mean when he says back? Does he mean back to when ISIS controlled a caliphate, an area of land in Syria that was the size of Britain? Do you remember? It seems so far removed. Do you guys remember being horrified by those ISIS videos where people's heads were being chopped off? Do you remember how horrifying that was? And it was like, oh my God, here goes another one. And then they burned some people in a cage. I mean, just alive, set them on fire. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. So Obama said that it would take 25 years to get rid of these people. 25 years to get rid of these people. It didn't take 25 years. You know what it took when President Trump came into office? It took bullets. It took bullets and leadership. When Trump came into office and he said, listen, he doesn't want to start any big wars, but let's go ahead and finish this up. What do we need to do? Some of his generals said, we don't have enough ammo. He's like, what? Okay, let's get the ammo you need. Let's get the supplies you need, and let's kill these sons of guns. And that's what we did in a matter of months, not 25 years, months. So these are incompetent people. Should we go back to a day when China is ruling? Listen, we're headed there. We don't understand as Americans how good we have it. A lot of minorities, a lot of people that vote for the Democrat Party, you don't understand how good you have it. Right now, Uyghurs, Muslims in China are being killed under the dictator Xi Jinping. And you have Biden that's corrupt. He and his son that was getting money from China. Now they're supposed to be the leaders that are gonna keep China in line. This is an absolute joke what we're experiencing. What about the Abrams Accord and bringing all these deals in the Middle East? Obama couldn't do that. Biden couldn't do that. And now we're going to give money and we're going to help out Iran. Iran wants to build nuclear weapons. The world's strongest, most prolific state sponsor of terrorism. These people in the White House, when it comes to foreign policy, are absolute buffoons. So the reason why they don't want to give Trump information, for one, they got to cover up all their Russia collusion hoax, the Ukraine hoax, and all that kind of stuff, all the illegitimate money they've been receiving. But also they have to cover up their sheer incompetence because they're going to suck. The world is going to get really bad. Pray to Jesus. Make sure you're saved. You'll need that eternal life insurance policy because the world is going to get really bad really quickly. Anything? All right, guys, unless there's any questions, comments, and concerns, I thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to join me on Twitter. I would say Parler, but they're not up yet. But as soon as they are, I'll be on there. Twitter at Carl Jackson Show, Facebook, Carl Jackson Radio, CarlJacksonShow.com. You can look at my articles, and I'm posting Dennis Prager's articles, Larry Elder's articles, so on, etc. There, you can check them out because they're part of the Salem Radio team. You can go there and donate if you can help us out and if you guys like what you're seeing with the camera, little stuff like that costs money that I don't have, quite frankly. So any bit you can chip in to help, CarlJacksonShow.com, and donate, and I really appreciate it.
Before we go, let's go around the room. Super Bowl picks.
Ooh.
Bucks by 10.
Bucks by 10. All right, Carl.
Okay. I am genuinely torn because neither one of these are my team per se, but I like both of the teams. Okay.
He better say the Chiefs just for just for his marriage sake.
I know.
You know, his wife.
His wife is a huge Kansas City.
Okay.
Which I liked her until
she's
until
a
this
huge
weekend.
Kansas City fan. I'm
I
telling you,
thought she was
huge.
cool until this weekend.
All right. So I'll honestly, I see this game could go either way. But I believe I'm gonna.
You know what's funny is
I'll predict the score.
Okay.
I'll predict the
score.
24-28, either team. Last drive down the field.
Okay.
All right. If you're
28.
going last team with the ball scores, then
Yeah.
you're going Tampa Bay.
I don't know because I think either team can do that.
I love how you just straddled the fence right there. Because
I did.
You have
gotta
Tony
admit.
on one side, the Bucks fan, and you have your wife, the Kansas City fan,
and
on the other.
So here's the thing, though. So for the past at least 3 years, probably I've watched the Super Bowl with you
Yeah.
at your house.
Yeah.
And this year I'm not going to do it because I mean, I can't be in the same room with your wife while, you know, like during this thing. I'm, you know, I don't know. Like one of us is going to kill each other.
Dude,
I think it'll probably happen.
I hope it's going to be a good game. I do.
Honestly, I think it's going to be a good game. And I'm worried about that too, because I don't know if I can handle it.
Okay.
I'm going to be so stressed.
If Tampa Bay wins, what do you think the score will be?
Um,
What can you picture?
You already said
I
by
could see-
10.
yeah,
so.
no,
Oh, you said by 10?
I said by 10.
Okay, I
I
missed
don't think
that.
honestly, I don't think it's going to be that. I'm hoping for that. I want to see,
Yeah, I agree.
like, I want it to be a blowout early on, and then I could just enjoy the game and relax. You know, like we did in 2002. I'm not picturing that though. I think it's going to be a battle to the end. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Kind of
I think that
Edge of your seat.
I think
game.
football fans are going to have a great Super Bowl. I'm going to hate it because it's going to be close, and I'm going to be at the edge of my seat the whole time, stress eating nachos.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
should
what
be.
I'm doing.
Man, that sounds so good.
I know.
It should be a good game. It should be a good game.
I love Tampa Brady, but I think the torch is passed this year.
Okay.
Mahomes and Kansas City repeat as Super Bowl champions.
Okay. And what about a score?
I think it's going to be very close. I'm thinking like 34-30.
Okay. All right. That's kind of like me. I think it's going to be closer than people think.
No.
And I started thinking, you know what? Brady is going to come out and he's going to punch the Chiefs in the face right away. But then I'm like, well, the Chiefs are kind of the experts at coming back,
But
even when they're punched in the face.
Our defense though is strong.
Yeah.
The Bucks have a great defense. We've always had, you know, a really good defense with poor offense. So I think this year with having a really solid offense and a great defense, I think we have it.
I can't believe this because I've actually
been.
been protesting. I kid you not, guys. I've been protesting NFL ever since Kaepernick kneeled. I've watched this will be 3 games with the Super Bowl. I promise you, I'm going back and protest after this until they get the social justice warriorness and the anthem back on the field, you know, and all that kind of stuff. But I got to admit, I'm excited about this game. I wish I weren't broke, because if I weren't broke, well, Tony's got money. So maybe we can see, Johnny, if we can go to Tampa today and at least enjoy the festivities. Maybe Tony can take us out or
Today? You
or
want to go to
something
Tampa
like
today?
that. Yeah, we should go to Tampa. We should go see the vibes out there.
Amen.
That would be pretty cool.
All right, I'm gonna go take a nap
All
and
right.
then let's go.
But before
should
we
do
get
it.
out of here, we do have one social comment to pass along. Nancy jumps in with this comment. Change the camera position. Your head is small and distorted.
And Nancy, I hate to tell you, my head is small and distorted, no matter what position it's in.
That's all we've got for the comments. We just
All
had
right.
to pass that one along.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning in and being out there. Make sure you tune in this Wednesday, 7 to 9. Just check me out, Facebook, or go to theanswerorlando.com. We'll be back live with Salem Radio. And Lord willing, we'll be expanding there in the future soon. So, all right. God bless every single one of you. Until next time, don't grow weary doing good. God bless you.